Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the time is here for the final of the 26th annual Ralph Shaw Classic here in Audubon at the Hank Greenberg Field, live on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. It's the Kingsway Dragons and the Audubon Green Wave. If you're tuning in, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Dan Wilkins, with my producer in the booth, Donna Wilkins. By the way, this is not the first time that these two have faced off. Audubon lost to Kingsway 7-2 in last year's Ralph Shaw Classic final. So, who knows? Maybe Kingsway pulls out another one, or Audubon turns the tables and upsets the number 5 team in the state of New Jersey as ranked by NJ.com. We got a good one today. Jason Stockland on the bump versus Kingsway, and I've had to say, time and time again, Jason Stockland is the pitcher for out-of-conference games. He'll probably be pitching versus St. Augustine too, or at least I hope he does, because he's that kind of guy that fools the hitters that he's never faced before. Once they get maybe through the second time in the order, maybe they might start getting a couple hits off of him. But remember, this is the same guy that threw a no-hitter versus Washington Township as a freshman. How in the world do you do that? Let's see what Kingsway has stacking up against the Green Wave here in the Ralph Shaw final, with the Kingsway Dragons lineup as coached by Bill Alvaro. Gavin McCaffrey is leading off. He's in center field. Nate Mayers, who got the walk-off hit in the opener as Kingsway came down from an 8-1 deficit to win the ballgame 10-9. Nate Mayers, who is committed to Monmouth University to play quarterback as an FCS, he is going to be batting second and playing shortstop. Tommy Popoff is going to play first base, not catching. He will play first base and bat third. Carter Williams is the cleanup hitter, batting fourth. Braden Lipoff is the catcher, batting fifth. Ian Monteith is the right fielder, batting sixth. Kyle Cupsey is the designated hitter, batting seventh. And the pitcher will be Ryan Gollin. He will not bat in the order, but I was told I got his name wrong yesterday, so we will make amends today. Ryan Gollin is the starting pitcher for Kingsway. Evan Mangafesta is the left fielder, batting 8th, and Evan Shuba is the second baseman, batting 9th. For Rich Horan's Audubon Green Wave, for the home side, we have Tyler Wiltsey batting leadoff and playing shortstop. Charlie Copsetta in center field, batting second. Scott Lynch at first base, batting third. Ryan Zimmer is the catcher, batting fourth. Charlie Grady is the left fielder, batting fifth. Jack Dempsey is the second baseman, batting sixth. Nick Caladros is the third baseman, batting seventh. Zach Beebe is the right fielder, batting 8th, and Joey Slavin is the DH, batting 9th. Jason Stockland is the pitcher, but he will not bat in the order today. So this will be quite an interesting ball game to see how everything fares for all of these ball players. Folks, we're going to get started in just a couple of minutes with the championship of the Ralph Shaw between the Kingsway Dragons and the Audubon Green Wave. We'll bring our attention to the field, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome to the 26th Annual Ralph Shaw Championship here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting between the Kingsway Dragons and the Audubon Green Wave. The coaches, captains, and umpires are meeting at home plate right now as, well, we have a great one in store. Remember last time Kingsway played Audubon, it was a 7-2 game in favor of the Group 4 Dragons, but things may be different today as the Green Wave in a 5-1 start. They beat Cinnaminson 3-2 in the opening round of the Ralph Shaw Classic yesterday in a rain-shortened game that ended in the bottom of the 6th inning, which, hey, that was one heck of a game. Tyler Wiltsey had a home run that was basically a walk-off because 2 batters later, the rain came and they never would play another pitch again. But the first game was maybe even more exciting between Bishop Eustace and Kingsway, the Dragons, pictured right there. Boy, oh boy, what a game it's been for them, and what a ride it's been this season. Off to an undefeated start, but not just that. They were down 8-1 versus Bishop Eustace, and then came all the way back and capped it off with a walk-off single off the bat of Monmouth commit Nate Mayers. So that will be the storylines for today as Kingsway clashes with Audubon once again. They scrimmaged last year, and Audubon lost 4-3, which Audubon basically left the bases loaded in the top of the 7th inning, but that was the first scrimmage of the year. A lot can happen for both teams, and both of these teams are pretty well experienced in how they play, and the way that Audubon's been playing this year, who knows? They could even improve to 6-1 today if they can knock off the Kingsway Dragons, the number 5 team in the state, according to NewJersey.com. Looks like Wade Geis is adjusting some stuff near home plate, and we're going to have hopefully some introductions and a couple little ceremonies before the start of the final Ralph Shaw Classic game in 2023. Had ourselves a beautiful day yesterday, but even though there was some rain, maybe more than a little bit of rain to end the night, looks like we have a lot better weather today, even if it seems a lot less humid than yesterday. Some nice winds and breezes coming in, and this is going to be a good one, I tell you that much. Audubon's meeting in their huddle. They're going to take the field shortly. I believe they are probably going to be introduced first since they are going to be the home team, but I'm not exactly sure. We got Dominic Perry behind the mic. He's going to be doing the introductions for them this afternoon, considering that Steve Bellis is not here today. He is in Rutgers, Camden, watching his kid Dustin play. And the Green Wave break from their huddle. Again, starting lineups for both sides, we have for Kingsway, the Dragons is coached by Bill Alvaro, Gavin McCaffrey in center field, Nate Mayers at shortstop, Tommy Popoff at first base, Carter Williams at third base batting cleanup. We have Braden Lipoff at the catching position batting fifth, Ian Monteith in right field batting sixth, and I guess Dom is going to do them. So how about we listen to him?
Batting first, center fielder number 4, Gavin McCaffrey. Number 1, Nate Mayers. Batting third, first baseman number 18, Tommy Papa. Batting number 4, third baseman number 23, Carter Williams. Batting number 5, catcher number 11, Brandon Lipoff. Batting 6, right fielder number 15, Ian Monteith. Batting 7th in the DH spot, number 14, Kyle Cupsey. Your pitcher for today for Kingsway is number 7, Ryan Gollin. Batting 8th, left fielder number 2, Evan. Good day.
Sorry, Dom. It's Mangafesta.
Batting 9th, second baseman number 13, Evan Shuba.
Did great, John. Did great, Dom. There we go. See, now I'm messing
Now
up.
for your home, Audubon Green Wave. Batting first, shortstop number 4, Tyler Wiltsey.
Tyler Wiltsey.
Batting in the second spot, center fielder number 9, Charlie Costa.
Sounds like me introducing wrestling, yeah.
But we
In the
love him
first
anyway.
spot, first baseman, number 17, Scotty Lynch. Batting fourth is your catcher, number 1, Ryan Zimmer. Batting fifth in left field, number 7, Charlie Grady. Batting sixth, second baseman, number 5, Jack Dempsey. Batting seventh, third baseman, number 2, Nick Colodros. Batting eighth, right fielder, number 6, Zach Beebe. Batting ninth in the DH spot, number 21, Joey Sleeman. And your pitcher, number 8, Jason Stockley. I please ask everyone to stand up for our Star Spangled Banner. Remove your caps. Any veterans salute.
Let's play some baseball this afternoon. The Green Wave are going to take the field. The American flag hangs behind Audubon High School at full mast, and Jason Stocklin will get another start this afternoon. Kingsway and Audubon in the 26th annual Ralph Shaw Classic. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Dan Wilkins, and we have ourselves a good one. For Jason Stocklin in his sophomore campaign, made his first start on Tuesday versus the West Deptford Eagles. He's going to have himself another good one today, hopefully, but well, let's take a look at the starting lineup for each team one more time. Taking a look at the Kingsway Dragons, as coached by Bill Alvaro, it's Gavin McCaffrey in center field batting leadoff. You have Nate Mayers at the shortstop position batting second. Tommy Popoff is the first baseman batting third. Carter Williams is the third baseman batting cleanup. Braden Lipoff is the catcher batting fifth. Ian Monteith is the right fielder batting sixth. Kyle Cupsey is the designated hitter batting seventh. Left fielder is Evan Mangafesta batting eighth, and the second baseman is Evan Shuba batting ninth. Ryan Gollin is the starting pitcher for the Dragons, but he will not bat. For the Green Wave, as coached by Rich Horan, we have Tyler Wiltsey, the shortstop, leading off. Charlie Copsetta in center field, batting second. Scott Lynch, the first baseman, he bats third. Ryan Zimmer is the catcher, he bats cleanup. Charlie Grady's the left fielder, he bats fifth. Jack Dempsey is the second baseman, he bats sixth. Nick Caladros is the third baseman. He bats 7th. Zach Beebe is the right fielder, batting 8th. And Joey Slavin is the designated hitter, batting 9th. Jason Stocklin will pitch, but will not bat. So, let's get it. McCaffrey's the first one for Kingsway. The infield greets Stocklin on the mound. The outfielders break from their catch and they go to their respective positions. And we have ourselves a darn good ball game in store. Dragons and the Green Wave right here from Hank Greenberg Field. A packed house here in the grandstands down the first and third base lines as Gavin McCaffrey is introduced. Outfield playing a little deep, and Jason Stocklin, the left-hander, facing the Group 4 undefeated Kingsway Dragons. The first pitch is down and away, and we are underway in the Ralph Shaw Classic final. One-0. Right down Broadway, maybe a little upstairs, but it's 1-1. First 3 for Kingsway for Alvaro's Dragons will be McCaffrey, Nate Mayers, and Tommy Popoff. That's upstairs, 2-1. Like I said, Jason Stocklin is really the key primary pitcher to have versus out-of-conference opponents, especially when you consider that a lot of times they don't know what's coming. I mean, here's a pop-up right here, right field side, going out for it. That's going to be a fair ball. So McCaffrey's going to round second. He's going for third, and he's going to have an infield triple. Maybe a little bit, straight away in the outfield, but he just got maybe the weirdest three-bagger I've seen in a long time. That was a straight pop-up, and his speed demon wheels got him all the way to third base.
Shortstop, number 1, Nate Myers.
And that's going to be something that they're going to have to consider. I mean, you just gave up an infield triple. I mean, really, that ball barely left the dirt out there. There's a ball outside, 1-0. I mean, our right fielder just asked, why did he move us over so far? And Charlie said the same thing. So I guess that Audubon sees something that I currently don't, but I don't see the need to leave that left center field gap so far open. I mean, if you look at left center field, there's a pretty wide gap between Capseta and Grady, so I don't know the outfield positioning for a right-handed hitter with runner on third. Seems a little bit odd to me, but count right now should be 2-1, and it is to Mayers. He had the walk-off hit versus Bishop Eustace in a 10-9 comeback victory over the Crusaders yesterday in the first game of the afternoon. As here's a hot shot past Caladros in the left, and Kingsway's got their first run just like that. Grady picks it up going to second, and it is not in time. So just a couple of pitches, and Jason Stocklin's already run into some trouble. It's 1-0 Dragons. Yeah, that's not good.
Still early.
It is still early.
Number 18, Tommy Popoff.
I think you also just got to consider that usually if he gets in a groove, he gets in a really good groove, but sometimes his first innings can be a little bit rough. But you got to remember, this is the guy that had a 0.81 ERA in 17 innings last year and no hit another Group 4 school. But Washington Township, I'm sorry, but they are not Kingsway. Kingsway is number 5 in the state, undefeated, went 27-2 or 27-5 last year, and made it pretty darn far. But when you look at it from another perspective of Washington Township was 12-8 last year, maybe didn't play as many games, didn't have that many great games, and got mercy ruled 10-0 by Audubon. So take with that what you will, but it's in the dirt. But the problem is, though, is that Stocklin has to shake off whatever he just gave up. The triple and the double, he's got to leave that in the past, and he has to address the current batter, which is Tommy Popoff. He's got to just kind of address that current directive at the moment. That one was a cricket pitch that bounced 20 feet in front of home plate. It's 2-1. Because the problem is, if you're a pitcher who looks at the scoreboard and says, man, I'm doing a really bad job, then you're not going to rebound. You're just going to get worse and worse and worse until you get yanked out of the game. So he has to address it's kind of like pitching with horse blinders. You can't really look behind you. You can only really look ahead of you and what you're currently facing right now. But it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Tommy Popoff, third batter of the inning for the Dragons. Carter Williams is up next for Kingsway. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball upstairs, just a hair high, and it's 3-2. Those kind of curveballs that miss high, they're always hard to swallow because with how the 12-6 kind of works, where it lands is always a tough discretion for the umpire to make. And that is high and away, ball 4. So a triple, a double, and a walk, and Kingsway has put the Dragon out on fire early, so it's going to bring up Carter Williams. First pitch to Carter Williams. Runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the first. Kingsway off to a hot start. One of the parents just said shake it off, and I agree. Couldn't agree more. There's a strike. That's upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike to Carter Williams. I mean, if you look at Audubon's schedule, all of their out-of-conference games are against schools that are larger than them. And that was what I really liked about this year's schedule, is that Audubon is facing really challenging opponents. Here's a fly ball ripped to left. Grady is there, and neither runner will tag, so that will bring him back to first and second, and Stockland has recorded his first out of the ball game. So fly out to left, and that's going to bring up Braden Lipoff. Bishop Eustace, if you missed the first game, Mercy ruled Cinnaminson 10-0 in a perfect game over 5 innings for Landon Mack, the Rutgers commit. As here's a ground ball in the center field, base hit. A couple hops, Charlie picks it up. He's going to rocket this one to the plate, and it is not in time. RBI single, Braden Lipoff on the first pitch, and it's 2-0 Dragons. Runners on first and third with 1 away, as Kingsway's already brought up their 6th man of the inning, Ian Monteith. So Mayers came around to score on that one. Keep in mind, busy week for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting coming up. Tomorrow on Monday is Overbrook and Woodstown from Woodstown High School. Big thanks to Mark DeCastro for having me cover that game. Tuesday is Sterling and Audubon. Wednesday is Timber Creek and Highland. Thursday will be Collingswood and Audubon. And then Friday will be Pennsville and Gloucester. Saturday the 22nd will be the Joe Lang Classic down in Pittman. First game will be Gloucester and Glassboro. And then the second game will be the winner of that game and Gateway and Pittman. There's no consolation game in the, or at least I don't think there's a consolation game in the Joe Lang Classic. I think it's just 2 games to start simultaneously and then 1 championship game between the 4 teams. So, no balls, 1 strike. And breaking from second. And Kingsway just got a free base out of that. I don't know. I mean, he threw over the first, and the runner was breaking for second, and that would be DiBernardi, Dom DiBernardi. So he broke for second, but then Scott Lynch picked up the baseball, didn't know what to do with it, like it was a foreign object. There's another cricket pitch. That misses, and it's 1-1. I think I underestimated how difficult it would be for Audubon versus a Group 4 school like this. But last year, Audubon held their own for a long, long time, and even a 5-run deficit versus a Group 4 school is really nothing to scoff at. As long as you don't, get obliterated into a million pieces, then it's still a valiant effort. Counts 0-1 to Monteith. And a foul ball out towards the right side. 2 strikes. Foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So runners on second and third for the Dragons. One, 2. That's upstairs, 2-2. Phillies are off to a hot start. They scored 9 runs in the first inning. Because why not?
You got scored upon 9 runs the other day.
Yeah, lost 13-0 yesterday, up 9-0 in the first inning. So, what I've said before is that one is upstairs, 2-2. What I've said before is that, 3-2. Glad you got it. What I've said before is that regarding the Phillies or any baseball team, I would rather score 5 runs across 3 games, as in 5 runs one game, 5 runs the second game, and 5 runs the third game, than score 15 runs in one game and get shut out the other 2. And a strikeout, by the way, to Ian Monteith, and there's 2 down for Kyle Cupsey. So Cupsey, 7th batter of the inning. I mean, there was a one time where Philly scored 15, they won 15-3 over the Marlins. Like last week, and it was off of Devin Smeltzer, who was a graduate of Bishop Eustis, and his story is really amazing. But regardless, 15-3, and then the next game they lose 3-2. There's a little floater. Wiltsey is under it, and he makes the catch. Kingsway scores 2, but leaves 2 aboard. We go to the bottom of the first. Green Wave getting their first chance to bat in the Ralph Shaw final. Bottom of the first, Tyler Wiltsey getting his first chance here in the Ralph Shaw opener. Maybe the offense can make up for the 2 runs allowed in the bottom of the, or rather in the top of the first, as the first offering from Mike Golan, Brian Golan, Golan, there we go, Golan. One of the pitchers for Kingsway actually told me before the game, he came up to me and he said, hey, I know you're going to be saying this guy's name a lot because he's the starting pitcher, and he said, hey, just letting you know, it's Golan, Ryan Golan. High and away, 2-0. Varsity and JV making for an extra loud dugout this afternoon.
Love to hear it, though.
Love to hear it. Takes the place of Cinnaminson and their dugout. And there's a ball, 3-0. Charlie Copsetta on deck for the Green Wave. Scott Lynch will bat third in the inning. There's a compensation call, 3-1. It'll be Wiltsey, Copsetta, Lynch, and then Zimmer, Grady, Dempsey, Caladros, Beebe, and Slavin to round out the order. Oh, oh my goodness! Is this fair? No, it is foul, but I'm surprised that ball didn't get caught in gravitational orbit. Oh my goodness. I mean, that ball went at least 400 feet down the left field line, but it was foul. The 3-2 pitch.
Got us up.
And there's a line drive, base hit. He will hold it first. And a leadoff single, Tyler Wiltsey is going to bring up Charlie Copsetta. There you go.
Your center fielder, number 9, Charlie Copsetta!
So Tyler Wiltsey with a leadoff single, and here's Charlie Copsetta. Wiltsey trailing off of first. One of 2 lefties in the order for the Green Wave, so he's going to try to bunt. Copsetta's been doing that a lot. He's been bunting, and he's been getting himself some good experience with that. And I think that Audubon has learned kind of valuable lessons from the teams that have beaten them in the past. They're going to throw back to first. Nothing doing there. But basically, you know, Audubon lost 4-3 to Woodstown in the playoffs, and Woodstown would go on to win the Group 1 state title. But one thing that Woodstown did that Audubon was very bad at was bunting. They weren't good at bunting. I mean, you know, I think it's something that they needed a lot of practice on. And one thing that they also were equally not as good at was defending the bunt. They never could really tell when one was coming, and they would never stand close enough on the grass, so they would just be free hits. And that's how Woodstown did what they were able to do. By the way, count is 1-2. Copsetta kind of wavered at that one a little bit, but so Audubon is kind of saying, hey, this is what we did wrong, and we're gonna copy and paste what they did to try to help us in the future. Breaking ball. And there's a strike, so Copsetta's down looking, and this is going to bring up Scott Lynch.
Number 17, Scott Lynch.
So 1 away, bottom of the first, and Lynch will get his first chance in the Ralph Shaw Championship. Line shot, base hit in the left. And it'll roll right to Mangafesta, and now 2 runners are aboard for Audubon. Now Lipoff is going to talk to Gollin a little bit. I find it hilarious that Coach Knoll, he's at third base, right? He's the third base coach, and you can hear him out here, like he's at a normal speaking volume.
Hey, the kid's got to be able to hear him.
Yeah, so does the whole neighborhood. No balls, 1 strike to Ryan Zimmer. Here's a ground ball out to short, flip to second for 1 on the first, and that is a double play. 6-4-3, and the Green Wave leave 2 aboard. We go to the top of the second, 2-0 Kingsway. Top of the second here in Audubon.
Fielder number 2, Evan.
Kingsway got 7 men up to the plate in the first, scored twice, thanks to an RBI single, RBI double by Nate Mayers, and another RBI by Braden Lipoff. First pitch is a hot shot to Scott Lynch, and a 3 unassisted for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 down for Stockland in the second. It was Evan Mangafesta who was retired, and here is Evan Shuba now. Top of the order due up for Kingsway after him, which would be Gavin McCaffrey. Popped up. Caught by Jack Dempsey, 2 down. I lost track of that baseball in the cloud, so my apologies, but that one came down and it'll be a pop out to the second baseman.
Gavin McCaffrey.
So pretty darn quick, and we've got ourselves already 2 down in the top of the second for McCaffrey. And that's what I said about, the top of the order for Kingsway will probably have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And along with that, you also have to consider that Jason Stockland is probably getting into his groove by now. He's already been hit off a couple times, and, he's kind of working backwards from what a traditional pitcher would do or what a traditional hitter would do, where a pitcher might be good for the first time around the order, and then the second time around kind of fall apart because the hitters know how to face him, especially if pitchers are so one-dimensional, kind of like a one-trick pony, where they don't really have any other values except for what they already can do. But here's a ground ball picked up by Tyler Wiltsey, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Jason Stockland. After 2 allowed in the first, he sets him down on a half dozen pitches in the second. We go to the bottom half, 4, 5, and 6, due up for the Green Wave, 2-0 Kingsway. Top of the, or rather bottom of the second, and Charlie Grady will be the first to bat after Ryan Zimmer grounded into a double play to end the first inning. Kingsway scored 2 in the top half of the first, and it looked like Audubon would be threatening, but a simple 6-4-3 ground ball thwarted the threat. First pitch is ball outside, 1-0. You're watching coverage of the Ralph Shaw Championship between Kingsway and Audubon here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at Dan, D-A-N, Wilkins, W-I-L-K-I-N-S, show, S-H-O-W, @gmail.com. 1-1 count to Charlie Grady. There's a strike, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Technically a drop third strike, but no, they're going to throw it around the infield. So he ran down to first anyway for really no reason.
And now second baseman number 5, Jack
Here's
Dempsey.
Jack Dempsey. Strike one. That one's going to be a foul tip. It's 0-2. Foul. Still 0-2 to Jack Dempsey. Nick Caladros on deck for the Green Wave. Kingsway leads 2-0 as Ryan Gollin, still wheeling and dealing, allowed 2 hits in the first. And that's in the dirt. Should be 2-2. And he got him looking. 2 down. Third strikeout for Gollin. This is going to bring up Nick Caladros.
Third baseman number 2, Nick Caladros.
Looks like some good cooking going on over at the snack stand. John Stockland over there helping out. Always a good day when John Stockland can cook a good burger.
Oh yeah, his burger's great.
I've had maybe 4 this tournament.
Yeah. Let's save this from having to go to McDonald's.
Yeah, it's cheaper too.
And better.
I would, yeah, better, yeah, because it's on an actual grill and not, you know, some greasy kitchen. No balls, 1-0. My ball was upstairs. Good frame, but that one's also upstairs, 2-0. Yeah, I'd take a Stockland burger over McDonald's any day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even they've gotten so expensive. You order like a bundle box and it's $30.
Phillies are up 11-1.
Really? What inning?
I have to check.
2 balls, 1 strike to Nick Caladros. Zach Beebe would be up next if this inning were to continue. There's a real nice classic car that's rolling through, taking a real nice stroll.
Top of the 4th
Top of the 4th already, yeah.
for the Phillies.
That's what the pitch clock will do to you, you know? That's what it'll do. And there is a strike right down Broadway. Count runs full. And that's ball 4, so Caladros keeps the eyes nice and fresh. And there's ball 4, so he'll walk to first base.
Now batting, right fielder
And
number
here's
6.
Zach Beebe, the senior.
Zach Beebe.
It's almost like an echo chamber.
It
I don't
is.
know if it picks up on the broadcast, but when Dom announces the name, like I can hear it like a second later behind me.
Bouncing off the high school.
Yeah, bouncing off the high school. Swing and a miss. 0-1. inside. Two one. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Runner on first for Audubon. 2 down. And a foul back to the screen. Sun's starting to peek out a little bit. It was really hot and humid yesterday. Now is less of the humid, but more of the hot. So more heat coming our way, and then it's going to be like 60 on either Tuesday or Wednesday. So
And then back up to 80 again.
yeah, there's a swing and a miss. Gollin strikes out his fourth batter of the afternoon. We go to the third inning. 2-0. Kingsway over Audubon. Top of the third, and Kingsway is up by 2. And this is going to be Nate Mayers at the dish. That's a strike. Called in the inside corner, 0-1. Here's a high pop up. Out to Charlie. Grady's under it and he makes the catch. 1 down. This is going to bring up Tommy Popoff.
First baseman number 18, Tommy Popoff.
You trying to flick away something?
I think it was a spider.
Oh. Yeah.
You don't want to hear me screaming.
No, we have a producer who is arachnophobe. That one is high and away. 1-1. Popped up a country mile up there. Zach Beebe going over, can't get it, and it's a foul ball. Foul back. Count remains 1-2. Fans lined up all around the perimeter of the stadium. In their lawn chairs and in and out of the grandstands. They're everywhere. Stockland's going to kick and pitch again. And wavers that one down the third base line, and this one is going to be a foul ball. So Popoff will have to go back to the batter's box and try again. One, two. Takes a breaking ball and rips it to right, and Zach Beatty lays out. Have a day. Take your glove and dip it in gold. That's a beautiful play. 2 down. How about it? Was right in front of us too. I mean, he just laid out and made this spectacular play. How do you do? It's Carter Williams. There's a strike. 0-1. Williams flew out to left in the first inning, was the first out of the ball game. And here's a pop-up in on the hands. Lynch will go over. That's on Walnut Street. Onto somebody's front yard. It's what I love about the Audubon complexes, you know, from people that are outside of this kind of community. Like when we went to Kingsway, well, first of all, the 0-2, it's going to be a foul tip. When we went to Kingsway, it was the first scrimmage for Audubon in 2022. It was actually the first baseball game that I had ever live streamed. But the funny thing about it was that we pulled up onto the campus and it looked like a community college. I mean, that's how huge it was. And that's, of course, a stark contrast from the Audubon High School that we see, where the students don't even have a parking lot. You know, you have to park on the street and share the road with other cars that live out in front of those houses to get to school. You know, there's no designated parking spots. There's no parking passes. You park where you can find a place. So having Audubon in such a tight-knit community really shows how everybody's willing to work together. And it's almost like a cultural change, you know, like between the larger schools and the smaller schools, you know, how everybody's used to the different customs. Like if you go to like Cinnaminson or something like that, you have your designated spot to park at if you're a junior or senior, and you have like 6 or 7 wings of a building. There's another foul ball. Audubon's only got like 3.5 wings. A, B, and C, and then there's a D hallway, but that only takes up 1 floor. So it really just goes to show, you know, the difference between those kind of schools. So, like, there's another foul ball. Williams not backing down. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down for Kingsway. They have not scored since the first inning when they put 2 up on the board. And he's going to go talk to his third base coach. A little bit of strategy, but regardless, like it's with the Audubon Little League fields, it's directly in between Walnut Street and Chestnut Street. Like if you're looking from home plate out onto the outfield at the Little League field, you are directly in between Walnut Street and Chestnut Street. Walnut Street's to your left, Chestnut Street's to your right, and then there's the little passageway, the little lane, Sutton Lane, that goes through. And here, you know, everything's so closely knit together. If you want a good parking spot for the baseball field, guess what? You just got to park right next to it, and you're on Walnut Street. You know, you're sharing the road with everybody else. And there's all these places in high schools that have their own complexes with like 4 or 5 different fields, and it's very different from what Audubon and other small towns are used to. That one's going to be a ball to Carter Williams, and he will come back from an 0-2 count to walk. So here's Braden Lipoff. runner on first for Kingsway, and here's Braden Lipoff. You also have to remember that demographically, New Jersey is the most densely populated state in the country. You know, if you're sandwiched between Philadelphia and New York, two of the largest metro areas in the United States, that's why New Jersey, even when they have like the Pine Barrens and the farmlands down in Salem County, Cumberland County, some in Gloucester County, Ocean County as well. You know, even though those parts of the state are still rural. Oh, here's a swing and foul. You have to consider that Camden and that area is pretty densely populated. Same with Newark. Newark is insanely dense.
All of North Jersey is dense.
All of yeah. Like when you think of South Jersey being a part of the state that is the most densely populated, you'd be like, well, how is that so? Because there's really some vast farmland out there. But it's nothing compared to what you see in like Kansas and everywhere out there in the Midwest. There's a pop-up center field. That one's going to drop in front of Beebe, and it will go to the wall. Picking it up is Copsetta. He'll throw it in. And this one's going to be an RBI triple unless they get him at third, and they do not. RBI triple for Braden Lipoff. He's got another RBI this afternoon. It's 3-0 Kingsway.
Now batting right fielder number 15, Ian Monteith.
So here's Ian Monteith, the right fielder. So Carter Williams came around to score on that 2-out double. I mean, Stockland was one strike away from getting out of the jam, and now he's already allowed another run and a 3-bagger at that. So here's Ian Monteith, fifth man to bat in the inning for Kingsway. There's a strike. Here's the ball, 1-1. There's a strike, 1-2. Or excuse me,
It's a ball.
that was 2-1. My bad. Inside, 3-1. Runner on third for Kingsway, up by 3 over the green wave. And a foul back to the screen. Count is full. If this inning were to continue, Kyle Cupsey would be next.
Kyle Cupsey.
I'm sure versus 98% of teams in New Jersey, what Stockland does would be effective and it would work. But Kingsway is just not one of those teams. And I think it would have been a little bit maybe more responsible to put somebody in like maybe Scott Lynch or Nick Caladra or something like that. Somebody who throws a little bit harder, because it seemed like when Kingsway was playing Bishop Eustace, when they were playing pitchers that threw harder, they were struggling. But then they started to come back when Bishop Eustace's bullpen got a little bit thinner and the pitchers were throwing a little bit slower. 2-0 fly ball deep left. Grady over and down. There's a base hit. Monteith is going to round third. He's going to head home. And this is an RBI double. That ball gets away, and Audubon's throwing the ball around. It's 5-0. So an RBI triple for Cupsey, and this is going to bring up Mangafesta with a runner on third and 2 down.
Left fielder number 2, Evan.
And I think they're going to make a change here. I mean, they have to. They have to. I don't think that versus a team like Kingsway, Stockland, don't know if it was the right choice by Audubon coaching, but he will get a nice hand. And we were going to have a Paroli's printing pitching change. Somebody's got to eat up some innings here this afternoon, and we'll see who it is coming out from the bullpen.
For your Audubon Greenway now at number 11, Gavin McCracken.
Yeah, Gabe McCracken's going to pitch here again. We'll see what happens. But we have a Paroli's printing pitching change. We'll be right back after the break. Top of the third, Audubon trails Kingsway 5-0, and Gabe McCracken is the new pitcher. This is a Paroli's printing pitching change here, as McCracken will get his first pitches in versus Evan Mangafesta, 7th batter of the inning for the Dragons. So new batter for Kingsway, it'll be Mangafesta, followed by Evan Shiva. 2 down, runner on third, and now the ball gets away. McCracken's not going to cover in time, although, no, he'll be safe. 6-0 Dragons. So a 4-run third for Kingsway, and the inning's just getting worse and worse for the Green Wave. It started off so well, with a shallow fly ball to left and then a line drive diving catch by Zach Beebe, and then a walk, a triple, a single, another triple. And now Cupsey coming around to score on the wild pitch. Just only makes things, only exacerbates it even more. 1-0, downstairs, 2-0. Here's a strike, 2-1. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Paroli's Printing and Bantle's Banners, Signs, and Apparel, the true one-stop shop for all your print and promotional needs, with a 5-star Google rating. Over 50 years in business, handling any ink-on-paper project, as well as banners, signs, apparel, and promotional swag. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty for Kingsway, but they are up 6-0 on the Green Wave early on in the 3rd inning. One's going to go to the on-deck circle, foul ball. Evan Shiva passed it to Kraken, just kind of caught it off the screen and threw it back to him. Oh, that's a foul ball. Hit Zimmer. So McCracken will come back at it again versus Mangafesta. Bases are empty now, so maybe it'll be a new start. Here's the 2-2. And a ground ball over McCracken. It'll go to third. The ball's going to die in the infield, and he is safe. An infield single. So fifth straight Kingsway Dragon to reach base. And here is Evan Schäuble. Inside, 1-0. I gotta say, I was looking at some of the MLB scores. The Angels-Red Sox game today only was an hour and 57 minutes long.
Wow.
See, that's where I almost feel like it's too short. You know, like, I talk about the pendulum effect all the time, where one thing is wrong, so there are measures taken to fix it, and then it goes in the other direction too far.
It's going to take us 2 hours to get to a game, get in our seats. I want to enjoy the game.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is the sport where you can miss an inning and not miss much. If you miss a quarter of basketball or a quarter of football, you missed a lot.
Yeah.
Or a period of hockey. But there are 9 innings in a game. You can afford to miss one. You can afford to wait in Chicky and Pete's line for a little while. But it's 3-1. Those lines are long. But that's the whole point of a ballpark experience. And we'll wait for this pitch. 3-1 to Schäuble. Fly ball straightaway right. BB is there. And the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the third. Kingsway tacks on 4 more. 6-0 Dragons. Bottom of the third, if you're just joining us, Kingsway has been on a onslaught here in the early innings as Joey Slavin gets his first chance.
Number 21, Joey Slavin.
As Joey Slavin will be the first batter here in the bottom of the third. Audubon had a 2 runners on in the first, but did not score thanks to a double play by Ryan Zimmer, and then they had a runner on. That's going to be a base hit for Joey Slavin. Down into the left field line, and Mangafesta picks it up, and he's got a leadoff single on the first pitch. How about it, Joey? So we're going to go back to the top of the order of Tyler Wiltsey. I mean, he hit a fly ball down the left field line in the first inning that went so far, it went all the way to the JV, I think that's the JV soccer field over there, because when this isn't used in the fall, JV soccer usually plays over there without the fences, because the right field fences and the left field fences are all temporary. They're all put up sometime around March. I mean, they're held together with zip ties, so I mean, that tells you something. But 2-0. The only fence that is permanent in Audubon is the center field fence right here, because it's attached to another fence that goes around the track. So that's the only fence in the ballpark that's permanent. Uh-oh. That's a deep fly ball to left down the line. And again, very, very foul. But also very, very long. So just move it over a couple feet, Tyler. We could use some runs.
Thank you, batting coach Wilkins.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple as that. Just hit the ball in fair territory. I couldn't be a hitting coach. I think I hit like maybe 250 in Little League, and for Little League standards, that's low. Because there's so much offense in Little League. Every game ends like 20-3. Or like 15-14. Because everybody walks. Like, I thought I was good at walking until I watched some Little League games last year, and then I realized everybody's good at walking. 2-2. Well, the problem is that with Little League and town ball, you know, I love Audubon Little League, and those people have been very kind to me, like Greg Severance, Bill Lougheed. They have been very kind in helping advance my career. But when I watch the actual Little League play, I realize that, you know, Little League is getting to a point where it's not becoming it's no longer a step on the development ladder. It's kind of like either the beginning or the end. There's a base hit in the right. Tyler Wiltsey's 2 for 2. Getting a good start. And 2 runners are aboard here in the third. But like what we were talking about with what we were talking about with the Babe Ruth League and what this tournament is named after with Ralph Shaw, you know, he was the founder of Audubon's Babe Ruth League, which kind of bridged the gap between Little League and high school. And now it seems like those Babe Ruth Leagues, even today, are becoming more and more scarce. They're not even called Babe Ruth Leagues anymore. I think the only one that is the one in Barrington that I know of. But back-to-back singles for Audubon. First pitch to Charlie Capsetta. Is a strike, going 1. Like, I played for a year on a juniors team. Actually played for 2 years on a juniors team. And then I played a year on a senior league team, which at that point was glorified rec ball. But at the same time, I mean, even I think George Geis is watching at some point, but you know, I played for his team, the Mounting from Hawks, and then I had my knee injury thanks to some bad mud and Hunter Lowe, so I'm not afraid to say it, but I'm not gonna hold it against him. It's 1-2. But, you know, even though I only lasted 15 minutes into the first practice with that team, you know, just getting to know the guys, getting to know everybody that was involved on that team, and then whoops-a-daisy, there goes my knee. 1-2 pitch to Charlie Capsetta. Here's strike 3. Capsetta, he's got to swing the bat. He's 0 for 2, and he struck out looking both times.
Number 17, Scott Lynch.
Here's Scott Lynch. Just committed to Sacred Heart University in New York, the FCS football program. Two on, 1 out. Joey in scoring position for the Green Wave, and it's 1-0. Scott unloads and pops it up to deep right. And that one is caught. Joey was going to tag, but that throw was way too accurate for Audubon to attempt. So it's going to be 2 down on the fly out to right.
Number 1, Ryan Zimmer.
So here's Zimmer. I mean, one thing that's kind of an unfortunate truth about high school baseball is that you're only going to play as good as the competition around you. This is kind of like a major league team playing a AA team. You know, it's not to say that one team is objectively better than the other, but the real context of where it has to stand is I love this dugout. But no, it's like a Group 4 school versus a Group 1 school. Usually, a lot of times, the differences are very obvious. And, you know, it's not a matter of whether the program is better than the other. Some programs have more to work with, and others have less to work with. I would say Audubon, player-wise, has more to work with, but resource-wise has less to work with. Kingsway might be the other way around. They probably have more resources, considering that their school is a lot larger in terms of their student athletes. That's a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes to Ryan Zimmer. He grounded out into a 6-4-3 double play, first time. First 3 for Kingsway in the 4th will be McCaffrey, Mayers, and Popoff. Oh, and 2. Wavers that one and fouls it back, and it's going to bounce right back to the pitcher's mound. That hit right off the dugout on the chain link fence, and it rolled right back to Ryan Gaughan. It's not us. Trust me, you'd be hearing it a lot more if it was us. I just hope it's not Dominic Perry's car.
You should see the black flag.
It's not us. Yeah, he's parked behind us, so. Somebody get your key fob. So too. That's annoying. I am very sure it's not us. It's 1 and 2. If it was, it doesn't. Our horn doesn't sound like that. 1 and 2. Here's a swing and a looper out to left center field. And that's going to get to McCaffrey, and the run will score. Wiltsey moves to third, and an RBI single Ryan Zimmer at 6-1. Maybe the horn's working. Audubon gets their first run. And now here is going to be Charlie Grady. Runners on the corners. First and third, and we're going to have a pinch runner, Ryan Zimmer, with 2 outs.
Needs to get ready for catching duty.
Yes, and Trent Banner will run it first. It's upstairs, 1-0. It'd be really funny if the broadcast wasn't picking up any of the car horn.
Yeah.
It probably is, though. Swing and a miss.
Can you see which car it is?
I don't know. I might check over break.
Usually the lights are flashing.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. 6-1, Kingsway over Audubon. And there's another one. And it's over. The saga is over. And it's 1 and 2. Somebody must have been napping. Peace and quiet has been restored. Here's the 1-2 to Charlie Grady. That one's upstairs. Grady struck out to lead off the second inning. 2 and 2. Runners on the corners. Wiltsey on third. Trent Banner on first. That's away. 3 and 2. And it's a swing and a miss. Audubon leaves 2 on. We go to the 4th, 6-1, Dragons.
Start off the 4th inning is going to be center fielder.
Top of the 4th.
Gavin McCaffrey.
It's time for trivia time here on DWB. Today's question is, when was the last year that the Phillies lost 100 or more games? I made this in response to the 13-0 loss last night, but of course today is much more favorable. The first pitch is inside 1-0. The options are, can you read them to me?
2000, 1988, 2015, or 1941.
All right, what's your guess?
I say 2015.
All right, well, we'll see in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's a strike. Could be, I think, 2-1. That's down in the dirt. It's 2-2. To McCaffrey, who had a leadoff triple on a little floater to right, but it just kind of skipped away from everybody and was rather elusive. It's 3-2. Full count to McCracken, or from McCracken. Here's a ground ball high, fly to third base and throw to first. Is in time. So 5-3 ground out. McCaffrey is retired, 1 away.
Now batting shortstop, number 1, Nate Myers.
First pitch is a strike to Mayers. Here's a fly ball left field. Copsetta is there, 2 down. Seems like there's been a rhythm in this game where Audubon's had 1 bad inning and 1 good inning and then another bad inning.
Batting first baseman, number 18, Tommy Papa.
First pitch foul by Popoff. And hey, they went down 1-2-3 in the second. Like we said, they brought 7 men to the plate in the first and then 8 in the third. So it seems like even innings are Kingsway's kryptonite. 1-1. The first 3 for Audubon will be Dempsey, Caladros, and Beebe. And like I said, when you're down by 5 runs, what you really have to do is keep an eye on the play discipline. You have to make sure that you're keeping the bat on your shoulders until you absolutely have to. And yes, it reduces the amount of chances that you have to take a good swing, but it's better to not take any swings at all and take ball 4 than to swing 3 times and go down on strikes. 3-1. That is ball 4. See, they're still cooking burgers and hot dogs down there on the first base line, but like, there's nothing really cold down there except for maybe Gatorades and stuff. They need to start selling those popsicles that you sell at the grocery store. Like you see them in the big tubes, and then you put them in the freezer.
Oh, the thing that everybody gets after a Little League game.
Oh yeah. I remember I used to be very jealous when I wasn't playing Little League and I was just watching, and the players would get free popsicles. No balls, 1 strike to Carter Williams, who walked his second time, flew out to left his first time. Throw back to first. Nothing doing there. I was always mystified as a kid with the fact that they were sold. They weren't sold frozen. They were sold like just straight up liquid, you know. But
freeze them yourself.
Yeah, you gotta. Oh, I mean, that's obvious. Yeah. I dropped my pen. So Audubon's down by 5, and now I need to go to my replacement pen because I don't feel like getting up from my chair until the end of the inning. So. Oh man.
Oh.
Everybody's got their own struggles.
The woes of the broadcaster.
Yes. There's a ground ball out to Wiltsey. Throw to second is in time, and the side is retired. So Kingsway leaves the runner on. We're gonna go get my pen, and it's 6-1 going to the bottom of the 4th. Back in the bottom of the 4th, Jack Dempsey, the first hitter for Audubon. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question was, when was the last year that the Phillies lost 100 games or more in a season? It was 2015, 2000, 1988, or 1941, and we'll reveal the answer. The first pitch is upstairs, 1-0. And the answer is 1941. Wow. That was the last time. There were a couple times, all those years that I mentioned before, so we'll go back to the main board, all those years in the past, you know, the Phillies had gotten close, but had never gotten to 100 losses. That's kind of a technicality with that. It's going to be 1-1 to Jack Dempsey. I mean, everything considered, 2015 they lost 99 games, so that's close enough. 2000 they lost 97, and 1988 I believe they lost 95. But those late 80s teams, it's going to be 2-1 to Jack Dempsey. But those late 80s Phillies teams, they were something else. You had Jim Fregosi as the manager. I think John Kruk was still around at that time, still playing. Still had Mariano Duncan. And like no-name pitchers that were headliners and stuff like that. It's going to be ball 4. So Jack Dempsey with a leadoff walk. How do you do? And he'll get the first for a free pass.
Batting third baseman number 2, Nick Caladros.
And here's Nick Caladros. Ryan Gollins doing a darn good job today, holding Audubon to just 1 run with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts to his name. Strike 1. That's going to be a hit by pitch. So Caladros is a plunker.
Now batting right fielder number 6, Zach Beebe.
Bill Alvar, or one of the assistant coaches for Kingsway, coming out to talk to his man. What? Couldn't open the towel? Oh, it wasn't open all the way. Okay. Right now we're trying to apply a cooling towel.
It's getting hot in the sun.
It is getting hot, and I have long hair, so this and then you gotta fold it in half, and it's very long. It's very long.
We're not making fashion statements out here.
Yes. We at DWB like to stay cool and stay hydrated. So I have to kind of blindly wrap this behind my head. There we go. Let's see. I wonder if it's going to show. Right there. There we go. It's great. No, we're good. Here's Zach Beebe. I mean, I am wearing a hat, but I had to take off the hat in order to put the cooling towel on, so. That feels much better. Want to know. This is why I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it. Beebe showing bunt. And they're going to, they caught him in a rundown, but the throw sails. And McCaffrey picks it up, and it's a free base for Dempsey. So now runners are at the corners, following what's going to be an E2. And he completely airmailed Mayers at second. That's down low. Two and one. Popped up, first base side and foul. It's 1-2 to Zach Beebe. She keeps laughing at me because of my cooling towel.
No, I'm laughing at the little kid that was just behind us.
You were laughing at me.
No, it wasn't.
1-2. Let's pop up. Shallow right. This could drop. It will, but it's a foul ball. You'll get that one, Mark Wiltsey. He made a good throw, too, to the Kingsway player. Here's a ground ball tapped in front of the mound, picked up. Throw to first is in time, but the run scores at 6-2. And that might be how Audubon has to advance to baseball today. I mean, if they're going to score runs, they might have to do it in that manner. It may not have to be, or it may not be able to be in the conventional fashions that they normally would. So, one away, runner on second, and here's Joey Slavin. Outside. 1-0. Popped up foul. One and one. That'll be a ball. 2-1. Outside. 3-1. Joey Slavin working to count, I'll tell you that. Oh, there's a rocket to left, but it'll go foul out towards the lawn chair section, and someone almost went down.
Yeah.
And there's the fellow with the baseball. The person in the black chair almost fell over.
Almost got it.
That's the risk you take. You're in open air.
If they had caught it, though, I'd give him a jersey and put him out there.
Yeah. I would say they'd do better than the Phillies, but they're, of course, up by like 10 runs right now. So.
Yeah. Tomorrow they'll be back to losing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ball 4. Joey Slavin with the walk. You gotta wonder how much longer Kingsway is gonna keep Ryan Gollin in the ballgame. They can't use DJ Giuliano. They can't use Killian McCaffrey, and here comes right on. Yeah, right on cue. Here's Bill Alvaro. Well, the reason why I said that was that Kingsway has a deeper roster because they just are a bigger team.
Yeah.
Like all of the players that are in the dugout, they are all varsity players.
Right.
In Audubon, that would be varsity and JV, and maybe a couple randos, but.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a pitching change here by Paroli's Printing. Pressure by Billy Joel plays on in the background. We'll be right back after this here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, coverage of the Ralph Shaw Championship. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Audubon threatening with 2 runners on and 1 down as a new pitcher for Kingsway and a Parolee Spring pitching change. Josh Herner, who was the second baseman yesterday for the Dragons, is the new new reliever in a 6-2 lead for the Dragons over the Green Wave. You're watching coverage of the Ralph Shaw Classic Championship here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at Dan, D-A-N, Wilkins, W-I-L-K-I-N-S, show, S-H-O-W, at gmail.com. I gotta say, Tyler Wiltsey's been having a good one. He's got 2 singles, but he's hit a couple foul balls that almost went into gravitational orbit, I tell you. He's had a long foul ball in the 1st inning that I thought was gone, but it was well foul. Made it all the way to the JV soccer field. The difference was that it was a foul ball, not a fair ball. So Joey Slavin is on first base, and on second is number 18, who I do not have on my list, although I'll have to check. That is R.J. Homer on second base. So Ronald Homer on second base and Joey Slavin on first. Oh my God.
Here we go again.
Here we go.
The car horn.
It's
symphony.
back. And it's a different car now.
Oh, yeah.
Still not us, though.
Yes, good.
That's in the dirt.
It was right behind us the first time, and I thought for sure it was our car.
No, it's not. 1-0 to Tyler Wiltsey. Well, the last time that the car horn was going off, Audubon scored a run. So keep it beep. Oh, I was just about to say keep it beeping,
Yeah.
but darn. 1-0. Oh, that's a plunker.
Right in the back.
Hit Tyler Wiltsey right in the back. And that will load the bases for Charlie Copsetta.
Now batting center fielder number 9, Charlie Copsetta.
Bases loaded, 1 down. No more room at the inn.
Let's see, where is that home run thing? There it is. Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Well, Charlie hit 1 home run during the winter inter-squad in February, but has not hit any in the regular season. The only player on the Audubon team with a home run was Tyler Wiltsey. And he hit it yesterday in the Cinnamon game. It was kind of like a walk-off, because 2 batters later, there was lightning, and Audubon and Cinnamon did not play another pitcher's baseball that day. There's a strike. Should be a 1-1 count to Charlie. Did he go around? No, he didn't. RJ's going to hold up at third. On third base is R.J. Homa. On second base is Joey Slavin. And on first is Tyler Wiltsey. Count is 2-1 to Copsetta. And only 1 away. This is a good spot for Audubon to be in. Just don't mess it up.
No double plays, please.
That one's upstairs, 3-1. Scott Lynch is on deck. He's possibly the best man that you could have on deck for the Green Wave right now, but Copsetta struck out looking both times. This might be a better time to keep the bat off your shoulders. And that is ball 4, a bases loaded walk, and the Green Wave are now within 3 versus Kingsway.
Now batting first baseman, Scott Lynch.
7-3. 6-3. This is the game.
The 6-3. Audubon trails by 3. And that one goes to the backstop. Audubon's dugout is loving this. Scott doesn't even need a hit. He could just keep the bat on his shoulders, and if Kingsway is going to keep throwing balls like that, and now immediately here comes Kingsway's assistant coach. See, this is another difference between the Group 1 schools and the Group 4 schools. The Group 4 schools have a lot more depth in their bullpens because they have a lot more pitchers on their roster. So in that case, then they can afford to switch them out more and, you know, maybe not use them up as much. Meanwhile, for a team like Audubon, it took them until the third inning to take out Jason Stockland, when, you know, maybe in some cases they wait a couple more batters before them, or even before that. You know, if Kingsway had given up 5 runs in an inning, I think that they would have taken out their pitcher before Audubon did. But that's just because they have more depth to work with, and Audubon knows that they need to play their cards exactly right in a game like this. There's no room for, really no room for error. 1-0. Down and away. 2-0. Seems like the mound visit didn't really work. Maybe it will in a couple more pitches, but we'll have to wait and see. 2-0 pitch. Audubon's clapping it up. We'll see if it materializes, and a swing and a miss. 2-1. So on the bases loaded walk by Copsetta. R.J. Homa came around to score. Joey Slavin moved up to third. And Tyler Wilkie moved up to second. 2-1. And that is a ball. 3-1. That was a close call. That was a very close call. Audubon's dugout, they're loving it. See what he can do. 3-1. Swing and a miss. That was right down Broadway. I don't know how you don't swing at that. I don't blame Scott on that one. It's 3-2. Still one out. Ryan Zimmer, who has a single and a double play ball, is next. Oh, popped it up. This may be enough for a sac fly, and it's caught. And they are going to hold him there. Absolutely rocketed that to the plate, and Lynch, man, that's a shame. So with the bases loaded and one out, Scott Lynch pops it up, and man, if Audubon loses this game, which they're still a ways away, but if they would lose, they'd fall to 5-2. If Kingsway won, they would still remain undefeated in the season. Here's a little floater, left field. That one's gonna fall in front of Mangafesta. Here comes one around, and here comes another to score. And how about it? 6-5, 2-run single, Ryan Zimmer. It's a brand new ball game. Runners on first and second. They're gonna get somebody for Zimmer. And here is Charlie Grady. That was huge there for Ryan Zimmer, jumping all over the first pitch. And now Trent Bannell will run it first. Charlie Copsetta's on second base. Trent Bannell's on first, and we have ourselves a brand new ball game. And again, Bill Alvaro is coming out, so he has to take out by rule, has to take the pitcher out of the game, and or not. I don't know, but Kingsway's got to be in a bit of a foreign land here, being only down by, or only up by 1. And so Kingsway's pitcher will be taken out of the game, as in, scorecard almost fell out, as in Josh Herner. So for the second time this inning, we are going to have a Parolles printing pitching change. It's going to be number 21, which would be not on my roster. So we'll get that all settled, and we have a Parolles printing pitching change. So we'll be right back after this. New pitcher in the bottom of the 4th for Kingsway. The Parole's printing pitching change. Nate Bott is the new pitcher, right-hander freshman, number 21. He is a freshman with 3 innings under his belt in his varsity career with a 2.33 ERA. That was all during a 12-2 win versus Pennsville for the Dragons. And they'll step off here, and they're gonna. He hasn't even thrown a pitch yet. They're gonna meet. Yeah, Kingsway would improve to a 5-0 start if they win today. They beat Triton 3-0 on opening day, Pennsville 12-2, and they beat GCIT 6-0, and again 10-9 over Bishop Eustis. But those run differentials definitely do make you reconsider a little bit when you look at how everybody else is playing. Here's a little floater out to right, and it is caught on a little bit of a stooping play by the right fielder, and the side is retired. But Audubon puts up 4 runs, and we are back in a brand new ball game. 6-5, Kingsway leads by 1 after 4. Top of the 5th inning, a brand new ball game in Audubon. Gabe McCracken being handed the ball again, and the first batter for Kingsway will be Braden Lipoff, followed by Ian Monteith and Kyle Cupsey. Kingsway was up to a 6-1 lead, but then a 4-run 4th for the Green Wave have really turned everything on its head. As first pitch from McCracken is away, it's 1-0 to Lipoff. He's 2 for 2 at a single in the first that drove in a run, and then a RBI triple in the ever so important 3rd inning. But yeah, I thought Audubon, I mean, just being completely honest, I thought that they were dead in the water after that 3rd inning and a 6-1 ball game. It was looking a lot like last year where it was just going to be a blowout loss, and then this year has really shown that Audubon is a team where the batters, everybody bounces off of each other. Whether you're the first hitter or the 9th hitter, you have equally as good of a chance as getting on base as the next guy. Meanwhile, last year, the lineup was top-heavy. You had your best hitters at the top, and you didn't really have the resources to spread them out. As here's a ground ball to Wiltsey, throw to first, is in time, and there's one away. Lipoff not too happy about that one, expressing some frustration more with himself, if anything.
Right fielder, number 15, Ian Monteith.
There's Ian Monteith. First pitch is away, 1-0. Ball, 2-0. Yeah, if you're McCracken, the best thing you want to do is try to force ground balls, because your infield behind you is pretty darn good at that. As here's a ground ball, and speaking of, oh, that throw gets away, and it's off the truck. That's going to be a dead ball. So going to second automatically will be Monteith, and speaking of the devil, I talk about Audubon being good with ground balls, and then he just threw one away. So,
Jinxing us.
oh man. So here's Kyle Cupsey. Monteith will get to second base. Is it just me, or if you look at the grandstands, it seems like there were more people for the first game than for the second game? I don't know, but maybe just people are out and about. I'm not sure, but it just seems different. There's a strike, 0-1. I mean, there's still a good crowd on hand. It just doesn't seem as packed wall to wall as it was yesterday and during this 12 o'clock game, which was a 5-inning perfect game for Landon Mack. There's a strike. Inside, 1-2. After Cupsey would be Evan Mangafesta. Swing and a miss. And McCracken with his first strikeout of the outing, and it gets Cupsey 2 down.
Fielder number 2, Evan
Outfielder's going to play straight up here with 2 outs. The next game that Kingsway plays, they played yesterday, today, and they're going to play tomorrow as well versus Washington Township at 4 o'clock. Here's a pop-up, left field side. Charlie Grady, get that ball. It's foul. Should be 0-1 at least. I think it's 0-2. Kingsway plays Washington Township on Monday, and then on Thursday plays St. Augustine and plays Williamstown on Friday. There is a strike. 0-2. Should be 1-2, I'm pretty sure, but. Two-strike pitch. And a little floater out to left. Charlie is there to make the catch. Inning over. Kingsway out scoreless in this one. We go to the bottom of the bottom of the fifth, 6-5, Kingsway.
5, Jack Dempsey.
There's Jack Dempsey. 9 men came to the plate for Audubon. 4 of them scored in what is a 6-5 ball game, and what has been one of the best Ralph Shaws that I can ever remember, as there is a strike on 1. I mean, I would have never thought that Kingsway and Audubon would have this competitive of a game. This year's team looks so much different than what they actually are when you watch them play in person. You know, when you think of last year's team, you think of Xavier Massey, Isaiah Pinckney, Sean Driscoll, and John Ferozzi, but the difference was that this year is so much different in how everyone seems to have more parity. P-A-R-I-T-I. P-A-R-I-T-Y. There we go.
Parody.
Yes, not parody as in a comedy. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, there's nothing but a parody here.
Oh, yeah. It's 1 and 2. Foul tip. And stopped at home plate. But yeah, it's a matter of how everybody kind of bounces off each other. That's what I was saying, you know. Last year was a 7-2 ball game, and I don't think Kingsway has changed too much than how they were last year, and I don't think Audubon's changed that differently. It's not like the entire lineup is different than how it was last year. You still have Tyler Wilkesy, you still have Scott Lynch, Zimmer, Grady, Dempsey, Caladros, and Beebe. Maybe 3 or 4 men in the equation are switched out. And there's the ball. 3 and 2. Dempsey is 1 for 1. He had struck out in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th, and advanced all the way to 3rd on an E2. Eventually came around to score. Here's a fly ball, hit well to center, straight away, and it is caught by McCaffrey, 1 down.
Now batting third baseman, number 2, Nick Caladros.
See, that's the one spot where you're almost looking for a foul ball so that, you know, maybe the pitcher messes up again and gives him a walk. But that's what Audubon took advantage of in the 4th inning, and I'll tell you, that's what they're looking for again. They're not looking for home runs. They're not looking for doubles. They're looking for 1 base at a time. Strike 1.
We've got at least one parent that said they only lasted 3 innings in the sun over there, and then they went home to watch DWB on YouTube in the air conditioning.
Oh, yeah, well, I could definitely use some air conditioning right now.
You want another towel?
No, I'm good. Actually, the sun is starting to peek away, so how long that lasts, I don't know. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Caladros down on strikes, and Kingsway seems to have gotten over their rough patch for now, with back-to-back outs recorded. First strikeout for Bott. There's a ball. Here's a line drive, and it is snagged at second base. Man, what a catch out there by Shuba, and the inning is over. We go to the 6th, 6-5 Kingsway. Top of the 6th here from the Hank Greenberg Field. It's Audubon 5 and Kingsway 6. A very close game here this afternoon as the Ralph Shaw Classic keeps on keeping on. As the first batter for Kingsway will be Evan Schubert, although I thought my buddy Dominic Perry said something else, so I don't know if you could see a jersey number on that one. I can't tell. That one is in the dirt, 1-0. Charlie Kopp said I didn't like that call. It's 2-0. I didn't really see it. I was looking at my scorebook, so there is a strike, 2-1. Charlie's been the kind to be a little bit vocal about umpires just because they are kind of far away. There's a pop-up. Up there, Dempsey. No, it'll be Wiltsey. He'll call for it, and he'll make the catch. One down, and this is going to bring up, looks like McCaffrey. That batter was for Kingsway number 16, Landon Edwards. I made a mistake on the broadcast yesterday. I said that he was a commit to the University of Miami. He's a Coastal Carolina commit. I believe there was somebody on the Kingsway roster last year that was a Miami commit, and it was just kind of like one of those images in the back of my head, but I couldn't remember. So, yeah, Landon Edwards is probably going to go play with Caden Bodine down in Coastal Carolina with the Chanticleers. I still find it amazing as the 1-0 pitch is a foul down the right field line. I do find it amazing, though, that Caden Bodine as a freshman, when, graduating from Haddon Heights and then going down to Coastal Carolina, and not only starting as a freshman, but also batting third in the order. Here's a ground ball back to the mound, and McCracken will take it himself and flip it over to Scott Lynch for the second out.
Now batting shortstop, number 1, Nate Myers.
So here's Nate Myers. Two balls, no strikes to Nate Myers. It's been a back and forth game so far, but Kingsway has had the lead since the second batter. As there's a swing and a miss, 2-1. Leadoff triple by Gavin McCaffrey, followed by an RBI double by Nate Myers. They scored 2 in the first and 4 in the third, but nothing since, and it's 3-1. Audubon had 1 in the third and then 4 in the fourth. It was a very slow-moving train, and then they got those wheels picking up, and they're moving along quickly. 3-1. It's a ground ball, third base side. Caladros picks it up, throw to first, and it is in time. 1, 2, 3 inning. Kingsway goes down. Audubon's got some life in them. It's 6-5. Bottom of the 6th inning, and Audubon trails by only 1.
Start the inning for
As the first batter will be Joey Slavin.
Number 21, Joey Slavin.
Nate Bott still doing well. After Kingsway had some turmoil in the middle innings, they've now looked to shut it down. They have 6 outs to go, and the first one could be the man at the bottom of the barrel for the Green Wave, being Joey Slavin. First pitch is a strike, going 1 right down Broadway. Slavin 1 for 1. He had a single in the 3rd, walked in the 4th. But Audubon had sent 4 men to the plate in the 1st and then 4 in the 2nd. So Slavin didn't get a chance to bat until the 3rd. Meanwhile, when Tyler Wiltsey bats later on today, as he is on deck, when he bats, it'll be his 4th time around. So, and Wiltsey is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a hit by pitch. So, I mean, hey, both of these teams have had 4-run innings. So it seems like they're kind of playing off each other and, you know, being able to respond to what the other does. At least in hindsight, with a foul ball. Like Audubon allowed 4 runs in the 3rd and then clapped back with 4 of their own in the 4th. So it is it's still an 0-2 count to Joey Slavin, though. Slavin, Tyler Wiltsey, and Charlie Copsetta due up for the Green Wave. Oh-2 upstairs. And it's 1-2 to Slavin. Foul back. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss. They tag him out, and Slavin is retired. He strikes out, and there is 1 away for Tyler Wiltsey. Tyler Wiltsey has come through in the clutch before, as he did yesterday versus Cinnaminson, with a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 6th inning on the first pitch. And we are in the bottom of the 6th inning, so the first pitch is going to be a ball. I was almost saying it a little sarcastically, maybe hoping a little bit of deja vu happens, but 1 away in the bottom of the 6th, and Tyler Wiltsey ahead in the count 1-0, takes downstairs 2-0. Yeah, that home run versus Cinnaminson could not have been more consequential.
That wouldn't happen again.
Oh no. Popped up. Foul down the first base line. Wow, that came close to hitting a Mini Cooper that was moving.
Oh boy.
It like slammed on its brakes in sheer like
Panic.
In panic, yeah. It's 2-1. I wouldn't want to be driving that. It's 2-1. Down low, 3-1. Charlie Copsetta on deck. Popped up, way up in the air. That's gonna be foul. I don't even know where that one landed. I didn't see it.
No. Probably behind the shed or something.
We're in outer space.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler's hit a couple of those that are a country mile high. Three balls, 2 strikes. Umpire will return to home plate, and then we'll resume this at bat. 1 away. Bases empty for Audubon. Down by 1 in the Ralph Shaw Championship, and what I've considered one of the best Ralph Shaws in years. 3-2. Popped up again. This time it's in fair territory. Under it is Mayers, and he makes the catch. 2 down. At least I can say if Audubon loses this game, they will most certainly lose it in a valiant effort.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be shut out and to come back and only be one away. And you still got 4 outs to try to bring it back.
And Scott Lynch is on deck. Maybe he could do something. So, Charlie Copsetta's at the plate. He's 0 for 2, struck out looking twice and walked in the 4th. It was the first time today that Wiltsey did not reach base in his 4 plate appearances. That one skips away. 1-1. Oh, no. Hey, that one hit him.
First baseman, number 17, Scott Lynch.
So Charlie Copsetta is hit by the pitch, and he will now be on first base for Scott Lynch. Copsetta's the tying run, and Scott, his job, hit one in the gap. But he's really not been that great at hitting balls in the gap. He's usually a line hitter. He usually drills it to left. Gets ahead of the ball, but we'll see what happens. Swing and a miss. He was going all in on that one. Oh, 1 pitch, 2 down. Upstairs, 1-1. Yeah, last year during most of the championship game, I was pretty conceited that Audubon was not going to come back, but this year it is 180 degrees different. Two and one. Two balls, 1 strike. To Scott Lynch. Oh, swing and a miss. 2 and 2. If this inning were to continue, Ryan Zimmer is due up. Oh! It's outside, and it's 3 and 2. Kingsway was starting to lurch towards the dugout a little bit, but they'll have to last one more. 3-2. Go ahead run at the plate. Audubon loving it. And a line drive to left. It's going to be over his head, and it is over his head. And it's going to go over the wall. Ground rule double. Copsetta, unfortunately, will have to hold up at third. If that ball had stayed in play, we would have a tie game easily. So runners are on second and third for Ryan Zimmer.
Catcher and 1, Ryan Zimmer.
So Scott Lynch is setting up a prime situation in the bottom of the 6th, and no action in the Kingsway bullpen. Nobody's up and throwing, so we'll have to see how they strategize it. Zimmer's got 2 RBIs today. Scott Lynch is on second. Charlie Copsetta is on third. Audubon dugout screaming like a bunch of little girls. But they love it. First pitch. Strike 1.
I need practice using the Audubon home run graphic.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could help me out with that.
Yeah. 0-1. Swinging a foul, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know if that showed up on screen, but my bad.
Just for a second.
Yeah. 0-2. 2-on. And the 0-2 to Zimmer. Outside, 1-2. Remember, the common consensus in baseball is that on an 0-2 count, the strike zone shrinks a little bit, and on a 3-0, it expands a little. So now we're back to fair game. Runners in scoring position on second and third. He pokes one foul towards the wood panels. Picked up by the first baseman, Popoff. If this inning were to continue, Charlie Grady will be next. But the best thing Ryan can do here is keep fighting. Look at their dugout. Getting his head a little. Got him. No! And Kingsway's dugout again. Not too happy, and it's 2-2. If Zimmer gets a hit, I'm sure things won't end well. That looked like a strike, but we'll try it again. Pokes one out towards right field. That's gonna be a base hit. Here comes Scott Lynch in to score. And can you believe it? The Green Wave have come all the way back from 6-1. And they lead in the bottom of the 6th on a 2-run single by Ryan Zimmer. 4 RBIs. Oh! He's going to go back to the dugout, and he's going to get pummeled by his teammates. Look at this. Ryan Zimmer, have yourself a day. 2 cases of 2-run singles. And Audubon has a chance to upset a top 5 team in the state of New Jersey if they can hold on. Still no sign of Bill Alvaro or any Kingsway pitcher warming up.
Zimmer get a substitute runner?
Zimmer did.
Okay.
Trent Bannell is running at first, and he's the only runner that stands in a 7-6 game. I mean, oh my God. I mean, I don't know. This is some of the best baseball I've ever watched. And a fly ball to right. And it is caught. And the inning is over. But look at the scoreboard. Audubon puts up 2. We have a chance for one of the biggest upsets in years. 7-6 Audubon going to the top of the 7th. We'll be right back after this. Top of the 7th, folks. I know there's over 100 of you watching right now, but this is one of the best baseball games you will ever watch at any level. After being down 6-1 in the bottom of the 4th, they've scored 6 in the last 3 innings to take a 7-6 lead. Gabe McCracken will try to close it out. If he were to do this, as that one is away, 1-1. If he were to do this, it would still count as a save because he pitched for more than 3 innings. Or no, it would count as a win because he did not have the lead when he came into the ball game. So, yeah. Thought better of it. It's 2-1.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though.
Well, there's a line drive, and it is foul by a hair and picked up by a fan out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The first 3 in the order for Kingsway will be Tommy Popoff, Carter Williams, And Braden Lipoff, who's had a couple of RBIs himself tonight. Fly ball to right. This one will also go foul. And this time to the marching band truck, or the trailer out there. Two balls, two strikes. Gabe McCracken on the outside corner. And Audubon can't believe it. It did look like it was outside from my angle. And the fans behind home plate really didn't like it. And a pop-up out of play. Count will remain full. Ball four. So Popoff walks, and here's Carter Williams. I mean, this is a story that's better than what they can write in Hollywood, and I think that here comes Ryan Knoll. Have a day, Gabe McCracken. Threw 3-4 innings of ball and did an incredible job filling in for Jason Stockland. And I don't know who we're waiting for. I think we're waiting for somebody to come out of the bullpen or come out of the dugout. Somebody's got to get their stuff. Well, okay, so Nick Caladros just had to get his pitcher's glove from Dylan Pooley. That was what the wait-up was on. So Nick Caladros, the opening day starter, now in a completely different role. The role? Close down Kingsway and give Audubon one of their biggest upsets in multiple years. We have ourselves a Paroli's Printing pitching change. We'll be right back after this. Top of the seventh inning, pitching change for Audubon, sponsored by Paroli's Printing and Bantle's Banners and Signs. Nick Caladros will be facing Carter Williams after Tommy Popoff got a leadoff walk to lead off the top of the seventh. What a game this has been. 7-6. Audubon leads over Kingsway. I mean, this is insane to me. Unprecedented baseball in South Jersey. This is cannot miss entertainment. First pitch, strike one. McCracken did exceptionally well. Came in the third after Jason Stockland allowed 5 runs and closed that inning out, and then the next 3 were all scoreless. An exceptional performance by Gabe McCracken, the sophomore right-hander. Throw back to first. That's a dangerous play. It's a dangerous move. In your bag of tricks, it's a very dangerous move to pick off a runner in the top of the 7th, because you probably have a better chance of getting a double play ball and getting 2 outs instead of, Audubon's had their troubles before of throwing the ball away on pickoffs. So you don't want to give them free bases. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Runner on first for Kingsway. Swing and a miss. He got him. And the Audubon faithful, they're loving it. And Williams talking over some strategy with the man as his successor in the order, Braden Lipoff.
Brandon Lipoff.
Audubon playing some real no-doubles defense here. doing the best they can to space themselves out evenly and don't give anything up. That's away. 1-0. There's a line drive to center. Copsetta can't get there. It bounces off of his shoe. He's going to pick it up and fire it in. And in safely at third is Popoff with a double by Lipoff. So Popoff and Lipoff are on the base paths, and Kingsway has 2 on with just 1 out. So here is Ian Monteith. There's going to be a pinch runner for Lipoff, considering him being the catcher. So the new runner is Dom DiBernardi. And Zimmer will now meet with Caladros. I'd be lying if I said I was completely calm, cool, and collected right now. I mean, this is insanely good baseball. No matter whether you're on the winning end of it or the losing end of it, this has been one of the greatest Ralph Shaw tournaments ever assembled. First pitch to Ian Monteith. And he went around. Might have just been a called strike, though. It didn't seem like he really broke the plane. It's 0-1. In the dirt and away, 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. Copsetta saying it's hard to see with the sun angled towards him in the outfield. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Kyle Cupsey on deck. Monteith is 1 for 2. He reached on an error in the 5th, singled and scored in the 3rd, and struck out in the 1st. Outside, 3-2. Three and 2. Swing and a miss. 2 down. That's a huge strikeout for Nick Caladros. Folks, if Audubon somehow holds on to this game, stay tuned for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting postgame show, brought to you by Doug Does Anything, for the player that can do anything. See, I can still keep to my sponsor commitments in a game like this. In the dirt, that's going to skip away, but Zimmer's going to pick it up, and he is going to be A-OK. So 1-0 to Kyle Cupsey. (1-0 to Cupsey. If this inning were to continue, Mangafesta will be next. There's a strike, 1-1. Downstairs, 2-1. It's a close call, though. Maybe a couple inches higher. Bryce Dempsey is warming up in the Audubon bullpen down the third base line. 2-1. That's a ball, 3-1. Cupsey's 0 for 2, had a walk in the third, otherwise popped out and struck out. The 3-1. A little poker, a little half-hearted swing down the third base line, and the bases are loaded, or excuse me, sorry, the count is full, but everybody is loaded up with emotion, I'll tell you that. Runners on second and third. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Cupsey is ball 4, and the bases are loaded. for Evan Mangafesta, the lefty. And Zimmer and Wade Geis will talk to Caladros. So a walk to Cupsey, his second time walking today. Mangafesta is 1 for 2. Actually, no, he's 1 for 3. He had an unassisted ground out to the first baseman in the second, singled in the third, and then lined out to the left fielder Charlie Grady to end the 5th inning. So the infielders break. Wade Geis has given his 2 cents to Nick Caladros, and Mangafesta is at the plate. Landon Edwards will be next for Kingsway. First pitch, bases loaded. Ball. That is Evan Schoiba on deck. Schoiba on deck for Kingsway. 1-0. That's low. It's 2-0. Get it home, Nick. The last thing you want is to have a tie game due to a bases loaded walk. But worst comes to worst, it's a tie game and not a lead. Strike 1. Two and 1. That's inside and it's low. It's 3-1. Kingsway to look for their first run since the third, and it would be the most important run yet. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this right now. It's 3-1. And a swing and a foul. Mangafesta had to take a hack there, and it's 3-2. BB and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th Annual. They are back on top for the first time since 2019. I don't care if I don't have a voice at the end of this game. That is one of the greatest upsets you will see in southern New Jersey. Mark the date on your calendars, April 16th, 2023. The number 5 team in the state of New Jersey has been dethroned by the Audubon Green Wave. Well, by golly. It's a feeling like no other, better than Christmas morning, better than your wedding day. The Green Wave have beaten the Kingsway Dragons. I'd have to check my records, but I think this may be the first time in at least the last 15 years that Audubon has beaten Kingsway. And keep in mind, this is a Group 4 school. This team was undefeated. They mercy ruled Pennsville, one of the other top teams in South Jersey. And meanwhile, while I'm celebrating here, guess what? Audubon and Kingsway are being friendly gentlemen. Shaking hands at home plate, being extremely sportsmanlike, and that is what you love to see. You'll almost never see a fight in high school baseball. You'll see it in a lot of the other sports, but you don't see it in baseball because they know what this game means to them. The trophy sits on the left side of your screen. I mean, I can't believe it as much as these guys can't believe it right now. Ryan Zimmer will be your player of the game for his 4 RBIs and his 2-run single in the 6th. He told me before the game, he said, I'm going to go 3 for 3, and I'm going to be the player of the game. And guess what? He went 3 for 4 and is the player of the game.
Kept his word.
He did keep his word indeed. So Audubon will line up on the third base line. I'm going to take a drink of water so that I can still speak. All the parents celebrating down the first base line near the snack stand. And everyone is lined up for the trophy celebration. I mean, this is incredible. Last year, Audubon lost to Kingsway in the Ralph Shaw Classic 6-2. Or 7-2 rather. And it was a game that ended without really much of a fight from Audubon. But at the end of the day, the Green Wave this year are 180 degrees different than they were last year. And hey, the game's been over for about 5 minutes and we still have 73 folks watching. So thank you so much to everybody, whether you're watching for the 100th time or for the first time. It truly is an honor to be covering such great baseball in no other place but Audubon. And whether you're a Kingsway fan or an Audubon fan or neutral, you have to admit that this is one of the best games that you've ever watched. I mean, even though Kingsway went down, I mean, again, one of the classic games in South Jersey you'll see this year. Athletic Director Tony Carbone, he's speaking now. I can't really see where he's speaking from, but
outstanding players, Mayers and Lipoff.
yes, glad you heard that. Nate Mayers and Braden Lipoff have won outstanding players and are on the all-tournament team.
Now on the other side of the championship team are all tournament team players. We have three of them. Tyler Wiltsey, Charlie Grady, and Scotty Lynch.
So Tyler Wiltsey, Charlie Grady, and Scott Lynch have won their all-tournament team awards, respectively. There's our athletic director, Tony Carbone, handing out the awards. In fact, the viewership went back up to around 90 as the award show's going on. So, I mean, I could not be prouder of these guys and what they were able to accomplish.
Valuable pitcher of the game of the weekend, Gabe McCracken.
McCracken will win most valuable pitcher, which is deserved.
Yes. That's awesome.
Especially since he was on the winning team. And yes, Landon Mack threw a 5-inning perfect game, but this is for the winning team.
Yeah.
And our most player of the weekend, Ryan Zimmer.
Zimmer, most valuable player
Of the weekend.
of the weekend. Got 4 RBIs today and had a great performance on Sunday on Saturday in the rain-shortened game.
And the winner of the championship team, 2023 Ralph Shaw Championship, is Audubon High School.
How about it? Hoist it high, hoist it proud, Charlie.
I'd like to thank all sides, both teams. Great sportsmanship in this game. Thank you very much, and we look forward to having you back next year.
They might be aiming it for me in a second. So Rich Horan is going to go talk to their guys. Kingsway is talking to their players down in shallow right field. Are they going to hoist a trophy or what? So Janara Furness is taking a picture, and we'll let you savor the moment as well. Audubon Green Wave 2023 Ralph Shaw champions. Love it. Picture time is over, and they're gonna hoist it high, hoist it proud. Audubon, Ralph Shaw, champs for the first time in 4 years. Folks, stay tuned. GWB post-game shows coming up. Ryan Zimmer's your Doug Does Anything player of the game. We'll be right back after this. Hey, Rich Horan, getting the Gatorade shower. Well-deserved, Rich. And well-deserved to the rest of the team. We'll be right back after this. Ladies and gentlemen, what a game. Ryan Zimmer is our player of the game, presented by Doug Does Anything, for the player that can do anything. You said to me before the start of the game, I'm going to go 3 for 3 and I'm going to be the player of the game. Well, guess what? You went 3 for 4 and you're the player of the game. 4 RBIs, including that 2-run single in the 6th that helped give Audubon their win over Kingsway. Remember, Kingsway is the number 5 team in the state, not just South Jersey, in the state, according to NJ.com. How does it feel for you guys to finally knock off such a powerhouse after so long?
Well, it feels great. I mean, we've been working for this moment like since the beginning of the season. So
right.
We were ready for this moment. We all knew what we had to get done, and we did what we had to do and got the win.
Yeah, I mean, when they were down 6-1, when Audubon was down 6-1, I really was like, I kind of had a wind poked in my sails. It was just like, I didn't know what I was going to do. We were down by 5. It was looking like an exact replica of last year. When you guys were down by 5 runs, tell me how the overall vibe and the interactions at the dugout were being down by that much versus such a powerhouse.
Well, we didn't take our foot off the gas. The dugout actually really helped us with the momentum, and we just kept pouring it on, and we never took our foot off the gas. Like, the bench helped us out so much. They were cheering the whole game, just kept us in it. Kept our heads in it.
And maybe JV helped a little bit too, because they were there, and Kingsway, all their guys are varsity guys, and
yeah.
Audubon had JV and varsity to help be kind of the hype men even when you guys were in the field.
Yeah,
so,
it's totally a team effort.
Yeah, I mean, it is really front to back. It's such a team effort, and I've said to every interviewer that I've had this year, it seems like this year everybody's bouncing off of each other and
yep.
everybody's making a contribution.
Yeah.
Last year, the lineup was a lot more top heavy, and I think that now everybody's kind of gotten equal opportunity, and you hitting cleanup also is kind of shifting things around a little bit, because even though you're not necessarily like a home run hitter per se, you still are able to get the ball off the ground a lot and hit the ball to where you need to go. Like that 2-run single that you had in the 6th, that was out to right field.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Kingsway was expecting you to push the ball. So what have you been doing to work with making sure that you're not always pulling the ball or always pushing the ball and keeping yourself with a wide variety of places to hit it?
Well, I can't give away all my secrets.
Well,
but
you give me one.
Yeah, I just need to stay through the middle and hit the other way, because if I don't, I tend to pull off and just roll a lot over. So if I keep my mindset right center, that's when I'm at my best.
It's a valuable asset to have as a right-handed hitter to push the ball, because everybody wants to pull the ball. Everybody wants to hit the home runs way over the fence.
Yeah.
You're kind of thinking at a different mindset. And you catching Gabe McCracken today, I did not think that he was going to do as exceptionally as he did. Did 3 1/3 innings and shut out baseball. Absolutely incredible performance. Was there anything between you and Gabe that clicked today that really helped?
We just have a great friendship, you know, so once we got on the field, we just worked together, and pretty much, like, he's been our sleeper. He hasn't thrown much, but he works his butt off.
Yeah.
And he showed it today.
Yeah, and I think that the relief work after Stockland maybe had a bit of a rough outing, seems like the relief work really shows that Audubon's bullpen is back. A problem that Audubon had last year is that once the starters were out of the game, then the bullpen kind of really had to do the heavy lifting, but the arms weren't strong enough to keep it up.
Yeah, for sure.
So now it seems like with Gabe McCracken, with Bryce Dempsey, and Lance Furness doing a good job as well, it seems like the team is a lot more well-rounded than it was last year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think that we have a really young staff, so it's very promising, because we will have most of the same guys for next year. So we're just going to keep getting better and just keep going and hopefully make it to the top.
And that is important, considering that the 3 seniors leaving are Charlie Grady, who is a pitcher, Zach Beebe, who's only an outfielder, and then you have yourself, Scott, right? How could I forget Scott? But you know, you're going to be missing out on 2 pitchers next year. So having those sophomores and freshmen that are going to be coming in and making an impact years down the line, that's really going to help.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing, you know, how about this for the fact that Audubon lost 7-2 to Kingsway last year. They scrimmaged them earlier in the year, lost 4-3. How does a win over a Group 4 school like Kingsway mean more than maybe a close win over somebody like Cinnaminson? Because that was also a 1-run game, but at the same time, the difference was that Audubon maybe had a better chance of winning. I don't think many people thought that Audubon was going to beat Kingsway. So what does this mean to you and to your team?
Well, from like a power points perspective, like obviously we're going to get more points,
That
but
is
we always
huge.
go in with a level head, and no opponent's different. Like we play our game, and that's all that matters. We're not looking at them as the big dog. We're just going out and playing our game.
Right. And Audubon, I think, maybe learned a bit of a mistake last year where they didn't have a strong enough schedule, so when they faced adversity in the playoffs, kind of crumbled under pressure. But Audubon's playing a lot of Group 3 and 4 schools this year. Bordentown later in the month, St. Joseph's Hamilton during the Thank You Classic. They're going to be playing Spotswood next weekend, and Williamstown later in the year as well, Shawnee. Huge schools.
Yes.
So now knocking off Kingsway, does that give you guys a little bit more confidence going into those games that maybe otherwise have been unproven territory?
Well, I think we've had confidence. I mean, we work really hard in practice. We practice very long. So we're just going to keep building up and get ready for the big show, you know. Where play time comes, we'll be ready.
Well, thank you, Ryan, very much. I know you asked for an interview and you got it.
Yes, sir.
And deservedly so. So, Ryan Zimmer is our player of the game, presented by Doug Does Anything, for the player that can do anything. The final score today, I cannot believe I'm saying this, Kingsway 6, Audubon 7. They are the winners of the 26th annual Ralph Shaw Tournament. See you all on Monday for the Overbrook Rams versus the Woodstown Wolverines in a DWB showcase. And from everybody at DWB, my graphics crew Gavin Van Rell and Caleb Lane, my producer Donna Wilkins, I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow.